I get shit done, I have fun, it's my time and I'm the one. I'm breaking through.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Business Renovator. Today's topic is identify a need, find a solution. Just imagine a building material that's not just beautiful. What the hell's that got to do with anything and what we're going to talk about? Well, you stay here and hang out or watch this on a replay and you'll find out. And if you're watching on the replay, remember, hashtag replay, let us know where you're watching in from. If you have questions, concerns, ideas, comments live or on the replay, share them with us on whatever social media platform you're watching it on. That we'd appreciate that. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. That would be terrific. And if you know of somebody who would benefit by hearing what you heard today or on the replay, share this out. Invite them to come hang out with us for a little bit of time on the Business Renovator. What makes this possible is my sponsor, who this is kind of a shameless plug. I'm looking over here because that's where it's supposed to be. Where did it go? Here it is, my sponsor. Yeah, and it's free, by the way. Go to coachphil.ca. On the website, you'll see a button that says Business Growth Score. Click on that, fill in the assessment. You might be surprised. You'll get validated. Everything you're doing is working well and nothing to change. On the other hand, if there's something that's identified in that assessment that makes sense to you to have a conversation, that's also a complimentary 30-minute conversation with myself, Coach Phil. And if I'm not the right guy to answer the concerns that you're having or want to explore, don't worry about it. I'm connected to a global network. And there are a number of excellent individuals around the globe that we could make an introduction to if there's any reason we should do that. Anyway, it's all free, no credit card required. So here I'm going to bring on my guest. I'm excited to have this fellow here. I haven't known him very long, but man, his energy and his passion for what he does is contagious. So I thought I'd bring him up here. So Adam, he is the CEO of Vipeq Canada and Vipeq West. And it's a company that's an exclusive manufacturer and supplier of some amazing European building products, primarily a thermal cork shield spray for exterior of any existing or new home. The product is changing the game by not only adding a long-lasting, beautiful finish, it adds so many amazing properties: insulation, fire retardant, breathable, impact resistance, natural and beautiful with colors that don't fade, about 10 times slower than stucco. So I read that wrong. They do fade, but they don't fade quickly. That's what I'm seeing here. I truly believe, this is him, that anyone who owns a building or is in the construction sector needs to know about this stuff. Once you connect with Adam, and you're going to be introduced to him today, you will notice the passion regarding his product, and you will truly want to be educated on it more and more. And I'm going to give you some access to how you can connect with him as I get to the rest of the show. But he's an entrepreneur that's on a mission to make a difference, and it happens to be with cork of all things. But we're going to talk a little bit about that. But what I'm excited about is learning about the man himself. So I'm going to bring Adam Schaffer up right now. Adam, welcome to the show, and thank you for being here.
Good morning, Coach Phil. Thank you so much for having me. It is a wonderful opportunity. I've been looking forward to this for over a month now. Thanks, man.
So the product sounds exciting, and but I know a little bit of the story, and I think that's even because if it wasn't for you and your passion and your entrepreneurialism, the product wouldn't be here in the way it is, and you wouldn't be able to, well, others wouldn't be able to have the option of having something that fades, but not anywhere as fast as I messed that up, didn't I?
Hey, you didn't mess it up too much. And you know what? You corrected yourself. Here's the thing. Nothing doesn't fade, but the beautiful thing about our thermal cork shield is it's fading so slow. What an average house is fading in about 1 year will take about 10 years to notice a difference like that in our thermal cork shield. So
Right.
no big deal. We can dissect that later.
Awesome. So you've heard of Steve Jobs, right? Stephen Jobs.
I have, definitely.
Yeah.
Look up
And
to him.
he says you can't connect the dots looking forward, but we can connect them looking backwards. So I would like you to look back a little bit and tell us about some of the dots pre Vipeq that got you here, sort of kind of thing.
Man, do I appreciate that. And I would say let's go back and connect the dots. Since I was a young guy, I've always been kind of different in a good way, and I appreciated it. Okay, at a young age, 7 years old, I actually lost my eye in a crazy accident. Basically, you ever hear that your mother say, "Don't play with sticks, someone's going to lose an eye"? That happened to me at 7, the exact situation. And the moment I got out of the hospital, got back to school, I used that to my advantage. I saw the value in not having an eyeball anymore and having a prosthetic. Well, I was the biggest jokester in class. It was rolling across the lunch table, maybe chasing the odd girl. Maybe, the teacher would say, "Can I have your eyes up to the front of the class?" Didn't take me long to realize what I should do with that one. So I seized every opportunity. Well, I don't care if it's negative or positive. And you know what, Phil? That is how I've gotten where I am today. People tell me on a daily basis, "Adam, through all the dust and debris and turmoil of business and the world, you are always taking a positive aspect." And that is how I got here. Getting kicked, getting stepped on, with Vipeq as well, right? This has not always been a straightforward path. We obviously got the product in our hands about 2016. There were some people involved that are no longer involved who, if they still had control, the company would have had to, it would no longer be known as Vipeq, and it would be a lot harder to sell it. I don't need to get into the details, but we had to take that control away. And since that day forward, it's been a smooth and steady race. And the number one reason is not because I wanted control or take over a company or be Mr. Hotshot. It was to get this product, which is changing the construction industry, into the contractor's hands so that they can just spray it. Simple as that. Let's just get this product out there. No politics.
So I have some standard quotes that I say standard. It means like there's no weight in them. The reason they're standard in my system is because there's a lot of weight in them. What I heard you just say is got to think like a winner and expect to win. You didn't use those words, but that's what I heard when you were telling us about some of the dot connecting that you did. And then there's another one that, well, actually there's 3, but let's go to this one. There was a problem, you saw the challenge, and then you turned it into an opportunity to make life a little bit better. And I think that's what entrepreneurs do. They look for a place to where there's a problem and turn it into an opportunity by providing a solution and making people's lives better because of it. So some of the ways you make people's lives better are?
Personally in business. Personally, I try to, from morning till evening, bring an enlightened aspect. Obviously, I'm not always 100%, but positivity, there's always going to be issues. In our case, they're first world issues. So let's be happy about the chance to solve a problem. We are all paid in direct correlation to the problems we solve. Do you want to know, Coach Phil, when somebody comes to me with a problem, how excited I actually get? Right?
Yeah.
If it's a business problem, I get happy. I'm like, let's solve this, because then we can charge more. If it's personal, well, a smile on your face, putting on some music, and trying to change your own attitude or the attitude around you. That's what I would. That's where I'd go with that, buddy.
Oh, you said something there that might rub some people the wrong way, which is totally okay. They're allowed to feel that way. And what you said was, if we have a solution, we could charge more. And it's not that you want to just make.
It's
money,
not about just the money. You got it
right. It's about what the money can do. You can make the world better. So when I put you on the spot and ask, what are some of the things that you do? I'm going to back up a little bit and be a cheerleader for you without the pom-poms. And that is that, like I said, I only met you recently this year. You're involved with a new group organization that's here connecting business owners that have solutions to problems, and we're all working together to make the world a little bit better by getting the message of what our products and services are. So kudos for you. You jumped in and made that possible in Canada because of the connection that you have, and you jumped in and became part of it. And then you're building the network of the networking organization. And then in your own business world, you're making lives better because one, if there, let's just pick on the residential. So if there's a homeowner that's got a home that was made out of vinyl. When I first moved into the house I'm in right now, I've been into it about 17 years. I got a rude awakening at, I don't know, wee hours of the morning. It was the firemen banging on my door to make sure I was alert. There was a fire in my neighborhood and it was close to my house. Yeah. After it was all done and the firemen did what they did and saved as many houses as they could, the houses that survived didn't have the treacle. That's why I called it treacle. Vinyl is like treacle. When it gets hot, it just melts. The houses across the street, right next to where the fire was in the hot spot, you didn't see any damage on the construction side of it, not on the building. So your product just helps retard that as well, right?
It does, 100%. It is fire retardant. It is rot resistant, and it's also hail resistant. So what you're seeing, so you said it, that vinyl is actually a petroleum product. Okay, that's what plastics are. It actually is an igniter. It is a fuel, which is insane. If you go to Europe, they don't even know what vinyl is. They've never seen it on a house. It's insane that we're actually covering our biggest asset with it, with our loved ones inside. And what you're doing is it's not just the fire, it's the hail as well, right? It just absolutely gets shattered. So, and it's all over Canada, unfortunately. So that is the first difference. We are a Class A flame spread, CAN S102, Canadian standard for a finish. We are Class A. All right. So our product is proven to even when stucco gets hot, it will melt what's behind it. All right. You might think, how is this product, different from stucco? Stucco's not, going up in flames. Well, behind it is melting because the stucco's getting so hot. The thing about the cork is it stops that heat from transferring through. It gives you more time to escape, right? Or it gives the firefighters more time to stop that fire. Hail bounces off of it. Golf balls bounce off of it. And of course, it is a beautiful looking product. You got over 30 colors, and it is just looking that good day after day after day. That's the, Coach Phil, we always had the amazing properties, the thermal break, the fire retardant, the rot resistance. We always had those properties. The most exciting thing is I've been selling this for close to 10 years now, and the jobs we did almost a decade ago, they look like we just did them last week. To me, that's the most exciting thing. I can sell a product that does everything under the sun. But it's really what it looks like at the end of the day while it's performing that people get excited about. So
I don't know if you saw, I laughed.
I did. I see your expression.
I wasn't laughing at your product. I was thinking of me in the golf course, and I thought, he must have seen me. A lot of some of the golf courses are built in communities where there's homes. Yes, and I've hit those houses with
those poor guys. Right. I see videos every day online. Their windows are smashing, and then people aren't even coming and own up to it. But hey, when you live on a golf course, that's the least of your problems, I'm thinking, right?
That's right. You made me laugh because I've been there. I don't know. I didn't break any windows, but my ball's been there, and I just, leave it there. I'm so embarrassed. Anyway, that's what I was laughing at. Wasn't laughing at anything you were saying.
I know, buddy.
It's all you brought up. Thanks for the giggle. Appreciate it.
That's what I'm here for.
Going back to solving problems, I like what you're about. It's not only in your own industry that you're driving and been involved with for 10 years. It goes back to, I don't know how long. Well, actually, it's been relatively short. Not even been a year yet for the BX group that you're part of, where you're helping helping problems being solved in a different way. And
every day, January 26th is when we kick that off.
Okay,
just so you know.
Yeah, it's not even a year yet.
Nobody.
A few months away from a year. So that's exciting. I like that about who you is and how you've herded a bunch of cats together in an environment that help them get their message out. And it's a high energy place to hang out and meet people and get connected to others and learn their stories and get people on my show, because that's how we met.
I love it.
and sharing the story of all of that. Let's go back and join a few other dots, though, from learning how to be humorous and not take life too seriously after losing your eye. Reminds me of another friend of mine who is, when I thought I was just joking around and kidding. His name's Eric, and he said, Eric with one eye. I went, well, do you spell Eric with two eyes? He was talking about his eye. But he's taken that as a way to have a conversation with a little bit of humor. How else have you found humor helps, or interrupting people in a positive way has had an impact in your entrepreneurial path?
I really appreciate that. So obviously you can tell one other thing, I'll connect that dot, and it leads up to the humor thing.
Okay.
I also realized at that young age, I loved attention. And you just have to admit it. If you are a person that loves attention, and you got to like seize that, right? Some people don't, some people do. Just admit it when you do. You're not being a bad person because you like attention. So please, if you like attention, shout it from a rooftop. It's time we admit it. So I realized I came back from school. My eye was all bandaged up. It was recess. 400 children dropped what they were doing. The tetherball was ghosting around the pool. The swings were ghost swinging. Everybody ran and surrounded me and started asking me questions. Well, I loved it, right? I answered those questions. I was the center of attention. And from that day forward, I liked that. And if you like it, you like it. So that's when I started kind of coming out of the shell, started being humorous, and it obviously progressed. I was the class clown in high school, but that comes with confidence, right? Yeah, you have to be confident to kind of break that up, to even interrupt you during your own podcast. If I have something that I want to say, you'll always see those guys in the room. Well, if you can tame it down so you're not actually rudely interrupting people, you can start doing that during sales calls, during one-to-ones, during meetings. And I'm going to tell you right now, Coach Phil, that I consider myself successful with a building material nobody heard about before I started selling it. Because when I am meeting with people, there is if it's a sales call, if I'm trying to get product on their house, if I'm trying to get product into a contractor's hands, or if I'm literally just planting a seed, I can guarantee there's some sort of a giggle, some sort of a laugh during that meeting. And it's a sincere one. Why? Because the best salespeople are your friends, and they're selling you something you need. And humor is how I get through my life. It hasn't just been a lost eye. It's been depression since the age of 12. It's been run-ins with the law, and it's been completely turning everything around. And strength comes from adversity. And if I wasn't a smart ass making people laugh and making myself giggle, I would be done. And I know that.
So you're telling me, it's not just start here and end up there. It's not a straight line. What?
It's absolutely insane, right? And I'll tell you why it can't be. If it was a straight line, there'd be no momentum. I would have been pedaling extremely hard to get up that straight line. Do you want to know why it has to go up and down? Do you want to know what happens when you go down? You gain momentum. You have to keep pedaling. I know it doesn't feel good, but if you pedal hard enough, you'll come up on top of the last plateau. You need those downspouts. You ever see those toys that they have those hills and you push the ball? And it has to have those downhill slopes to keep going. That's life, man. And if the pedaling is the learning.
Yeah, totally. I have another couple of things that are kind of resonating with me. Here's something that says the same thing in a different sort of way. If we just go hell-bent for leather and just do things fast without taking and getting the nuggets and the lessons and reflecting on the adversity that just went through, so we slow down to go fast, that we can do a course correction and do a reset. So one of the things I get all of my clients to do is to actually take time out of their busy, hectic schedule to slow down, to go fast, to go creative. So you're a big fan of Tony Robbins. One of the things he learned from Jim Rohn was to take time out, go do something different than what you normally do, because it's in those moments of doing something different, slowing down, different activities you can get involved with. That's when the creative juices show up, and an idea that you had not ever seen before. One of my mentors taught me about something that's a powerful metaphor, and that is, if you take a kaleidoscope and you look at it and just hold it the way it is, you'll see a pattern. If you turn it a little bit, the pattern changes. So stepping out and doing things in a slowed down sort of way, it gives you a different point of view. Why did I go on that rant?
You.
What's that?
It's how you get inspiration. If you're just doing the same walking down that same path. We all got the emails to answer, the text to answer, but it's exactly what you say.
I'm not exactly sure what Bryce said. We said well said, but thank you for that, Bryce. And I want to connect the dots if I can. I know I can, but if you'll allow me to do that, Adam. My journey of self-improvement and self-development, personal growth started way back before the 80s. It was my second person that I met in the world of transformation, and it was Brian Tracy. How has that got to do anything with Bryce? I was selling cars at the time. Mortgage rates in the 80s were 21%. So I was selling houses until we weren't selling houses, and you have to do something to survive, pay your bills, and Maslow's survival level. So I went into the auto industry. And in the dealership that I worked for, Bryce shows up. I never met him there really. But the sales manager came up to me and said, "Hey, Jilks, you like this stuff?" And I, "What stuff is that?" So personal development. He says, "Oh, yeah, I love this stuff." So Bryce was instrumental in helping me find out who Brian Tracy was. I participated in the Phoenix seminar. And now I'm a certified Brian Tracy coach, and I have been officially for 15 years. There's many things I've done along the way, but it's how things circle back. I actually had a chance to hang out with Bryce and get his story. I need to get, sorry, I'm stealing your thunder, Adam. I need to get.
That's fine, man. It's all about the network, and it's all about stories, and I'm glad to be part of your story. Could you imagine if when you are dealing with somebody, planting a seed, having a one-to-one, if somehow you inspire them that they'll be part of your story? Like every movie you've watched, all those characters are in there. They're just normal people, but they're special because they're part of that story. Isn't that kind of cool?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go back to some of your dots, and I'll try not to hijack the show because you're the guest, not me.
It's all good.
So what other dots would you say, look back and say were connected to help you get to where you are today?
I'd say one of the biggest, huge player in the game, confidence, success with other people would be the fact that I did find the gym and bodybuilding at a young age. And I think that is a huge aspect behind anybody's. I think if it's, yes, I was lifting weights and taking supplements and posting those muscle pictures, but if it's any form of routine exercise, I do think that that's something nobody can take away from you. Nobody can take away from you. So that is a huge dot. That is why I am where I am, because I know it's so cheesy, very clicky, but the stress on your shoulders as an entrepreneur or just on your day-to-day personal life, it weighs on your shoulders. You have two options, just like when there's a 45-pound Olympic bar loaded up with 300 pounds on your shoulders, right? You have two options when it's pushing you down. You either push it back up, right? Or it's going to crush you. So I 100%, because of the gym, became bulletproof. I built a body that nobody could take away from me, that people admired. I'm telling you, more men than anyone else, and straight men coming up and feeling the biceps and everything else. But everybody admired and I did, and I was something to be proud of, and that is something nobody can take away from you. And I learned to love myself, aside from a girlfriend or a wife or another partner, before anything else. And I'm telling this stuff because I believe it's important. And if you want to make it in business or truly happy in your personal life, you need some sort of routine that you follow, whether it's going for a run, going to the gym, and being proud of that. Why? Well, the science, the endorphins that it releases are going to cause happiness to begin with, but just your confidence is going to grow. And then learn to love yourself, okay? And if you cannot be happy with other people, if things are not working out with other people, I suggest, like you said, slow things down, be alone for a while, love yourself, because then nobody can interrupt that, right? Because there's always going to be interruptions. But if you are bulletproof, what's going to knock you off your path? Coach Phil, I like to believe, because of BX, because of the networking groups, because of everything I've built, that if everything was stripped away from me tomorrow, right? If it's not going to happen, but if, Vipeq, if everything I sold, if everything I built, I like to believe that within a week, I would be on another path forward and upward.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You
know what I hate about You know what I hate about this show?
What's up?
It ends.
Hey, buddy, we can do another one.
Well, it's not quite ending yet, but I try to keep them around 30 minutes.
I know.
This has been insightful. But before we wrap it up, which we're going to do shortly, I want to bring up something that's important to everybody. It's important to you. It's a little bit more about who you is. And I'm just getting my poop in a group here as I bring it up. I'm going to bring up LinkedIn first. So this is a place where you guys can find out more about him, get connected to his community. And there it is right there. That's the address. And if you can't find that, well, then watch this, because this is going to be next up. I'm going to make it big. So this is the man on LinkedIn, but there's the address to get to. But if you can't remember all of this, because that's a lot of stuff to type, just go look for Adam Schaffer. But make sure that you get this Adam Schaffer, the dude there, showed the page, have a look at it, and join his network. Have him on your podcast. If you have a home or own buildings, or you know people who do, make an introduction. Check it out, see what it's about. If it could save your home, save your family, or any other benefit to the construction side for you personally or your business, he's the guy to check out. Now, another place that we can go find him is his actual website, which is right here. But again, that's really hard to see. So watch this. I'm going to, with magic, make something happen. There's his website. I'm going to scroll down a little bit so that goes up top. Okay, so it's apecproducts.ca, and in here you can find a whole bunch of cool stuff. Properties and benefits. It's homes approved. If you're Canadian, you'll know what that means. If you're not, that doesn't mean a lot to you. And questions that people are asking. And there's a section of inspiration, feature project, color previewer, video gallery of products and service. Let me have a look at that. Let's just see what that looks like. Come on, there we go. Oh, it is loading, ladies and gentlemen. So this is the homes guy right here.
Here's Mike Holmes talking about it.
Yeah, and here is some stuff and education all on it, some testimonials, and the application. I'm not going to turn the buttons on or the movies on to watch it, but this is so people, if they want to know more about it, this is what they could do. Go here, watch the video, and if and then they want more information, they can come to your website, connect out, and have a conversation with you. I'm sure you'd like to have that happen. And as you know what,
Coach, if you click on that certified applicators tab really quick, I want to point something out, because a big part of our business is we want to inspire, we want to deliver environmentally friendly and conscious building materials to certified contractors who are highly educated. So if you look at this page and scroll down, last year we only had 3 companies on here. If you look now, we've got I think we've got 15 or more. We are growing. We are exploding. Contractors are getting this product in their hands. Look at that. I'm so proud of that. All of those brands are spraying our product exclusively. And that's awesome. That's some growth in the last year, my friend.
Let me put that back up there one more time in case somebody missed it. But it's on the replay. So if you go to the YouTube channel for the Business Renovator, you can go back and watch this. And I'm going to bring back my wonderful Adam friend back onto the site. Just like this. Look at that. We're both here again. Is there something you would want to impart upon our audience that are watching it now or in the future? A nugget?
100%. And I'm never for the faint at heart. I'm a passionate guy, and I'm proud. So if this offends anybody, I'm very sorry. But my one trick, the one thing I want to tell you is don't wait until it's 100% planned. You do not always need a plan. You just need balls. Okay, that's if you got the confidence, the balls, the guts, and a little bit of support, which means you haven't burnt bridges, you're going to make it.
Very cool. Good advice. And thanks for being here. Hang out for a little bit.
Thanks, Coach.
I'll catch you on the other side here in a sec.
Thank you so much, Coach.
Thank you again for being here. Lots of wisdom. It was awesome. Well, I wrote a few notes. I write big, so a page would mean like I wrote a lot, but that's not the case. But I got a lot of value out of it. Be positive, solve problems, look for solutions, look for challenges that people are faced. What's the problem they have they don't want? What's the solution you can bring forward and help them implement. That's what I heard. The tetherball keeps going because he people were interested in knowing who he was, even at a young age. And that's still true today. It's one of the reasons why I invited him on the show, because he's interesting. He also talked about something that takes discipline and commitment. And that was his body building, weightlifting exercise. So he created a routine and had a regiment. So why don't you do that? He also talked about goals. What are you looking forward to is another way to consider goals. And I don't know if this is the most important thing, but damn, it's pretty darn close. Love yourself. Put your mask on first. On the airplane, if it crashes and burns, what do they say to do? Put your mask on first. So let's not worry about the plane, because planes are pretty stable. But look after yourself first, because how can you look after anybody else if you're not maintaining your own sanity and physical health? So that kind of brings us to a wrap of the show. I hate to say that, time is over, but I have to. But before we go, I want to do my best weatherman thing. Notice wonderful spelt with a U. Well, that's representing you. You are wonderfully unique. So continue being your wonderful, unique self. Till next time, I'm Coach Phil, and catch us next week with more episodes for you to learn from people from around the world. Thanks again to my guest, Adam, for being here. Much appreciated, man.
I get shit done, I have fun. It's my time and I'm the one. I'm breaking through.